Well, bakers, this week we are making a South African Malva pudding. This beautiful dessert is synonymous with the Cape. It is so delicious. Malva in Afrikaans means marshmallow, so just imagine how delicious this is going to be. It's more like a British pudding, where it's kind of like cakey and soft and yummy rather than an American pudding. So let's get started. It is really easy to make. In this bowl, we are going to add in some milk. I recommend full fat milk because fat is flavor. Then we're going to add in some brown sugar. Now this pudding has lovely kind of caramelly warm tones. So that brown sugar really gives this dessert like its unique flavor. Into this we are going to add in some eggs and some apricot jam. In that goes. Traditionally this dessert always has apricot jam. Lovely. Some melted butter. Now the last wet ingredient is vinegar. Now I will tell you, I research all the recipes that I'm doing. I could not figure out why it called for vinegar, except I'm thinking it has something to do with the raising agent, activating the acid in the baking soda. So if you know this recipe and you know why, then please let me know in the comments. But as of right now, that's what I'm going with. Lovely, wet ingredients, mix those together until nice and smooth. It's always a nice idea to add your sugar into your liquid, especially something like brown sugar that's heavy and it dissolves in your liquid rather than adding it into your dry. As a young baker, I never knew that, but as I get older, it just really does make a difference. And it just means you'll get the full effect of the flavor of the dark brown sugar. Gorgeous. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Whisk it until it's smooth. Beautiful. When I was around 20, 21, something like that. I was very fortunate to be able to travel actually to South Africa with my family. And still to this day, and I've been all around the world, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. We went to Cape Town, it was just gorgeous, and the beaches and the people. I'll never forget it. The food 20 something years ago was amazing. So I'm really excited to go back one day and try just all the fresh seafood and everything that they have to offer. Now, so those are wet ingredients. Now let's talk dry. It's pretty basic. We have some flour in here. We have salt, baking powder, and baking soda. So just like I said, this is more akin to a British pudding than it is to an American pudding. So it's more cakey. It's kind of what I grew up with in Ireland. A pudding is cakey and it's soft and it's kind of moist. You know, it's not like a mousse. Give those a good mix together and then simply add your wet ingredients straight into your dry. And then with a little hand whisk, you don't need anything more than that. Give it a whisk together until your batter is smooth and combined. So I had never heard of Malva pudding until a few years ago. And when we launched the recipe on my website, people went nuts for it. I got it, I realized why, because it does taste so amazing. It's like, it's warm, it's comforting, it's like the perfect winter, fall time dessert, like just absolutely, like it just warms your soul, like one of those kinds of recipes. It just makes you feel good. Look at that, even just looking at this batter, look how beautiful that is. Gorgeous. Now, here I have a baking dish, 8 by 8 roughly is what you're going for. It's a nice thick pudding. It has been buttered. I like to do it in a nice dish so then you can take the dish from the oven and put it onto your table to serve out of the dish. So there you go, scrape that pudding into your baking dish until every last bit is in here. Believe me, once you taste this and you realize how gorgeous it is, you're not going to want to leave any behind. Just with a spatula, just give that a little flatten out really quickly. Make sure that dish is buttered so it comes out easily. Okay, lovely. It's ready to go into the oven. Bake your pudding at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius for roughly 30 to 40 minutes, just until it's firm to the touch on top. While it's baking, we are going to head over to the stovetop and make our syrup to soak our cake in. So the second step for a Malva pudding is you make this sauce and you pour it over the Malva pudding when it's still hot so it soaks in. It's almost like a self-saucing pudding. It's really just lovely and what makes it so moist. In a little saucepan here, we're going to add in our butter, add some milk, again, full fat milk for full fat flavor, cream, yummy, yummy, yummy. It's kind of like making a little bit of a caramel without like the caramel flavor, without the dark brown sugar. We're adding in some sugar here, just white sugar. And then lastly, a little bit of salt. Turn on the heat to a medium and just let the sugar dissolve and the butter melt. That's all we're going for here. It's just going to take around 2 minutes or so. So as I'm stirring, I can feel that the sugar has dissolved. I can see the butter has melted, starting to steam a little bit. So I'm going to turn off the heat and just set it over to the side. Okay, lovely, that's ready. I just heard my timer go off, so I'm going to go check on my pudding. Look at that, beautiful golden brown on top. It only took 30 minutes. It's nice and firm underneath my fingers. Beautiful, it smells gorgeous, but we're not done yet. Here's what we do next. Get a skewer, a thin skewer, and we are going to poke holes all over the top while it's still hot, straight from the oven. You want to poke those holes all over. You want to break that surface so our sauce can soak the whole way through. Here is our lovely sauce. Pour it all over the top. For best results, you want to do this straight from the oven. Pour it evenly all over the top. Make sure it's getting a good old soak. And you want to use up every last drop. Fantastic. I mean, what could be bad about this? Nothing. So now what we want to do is just let this sit and soak up that lovely sauce for around 30 minutes or so. So just let it hang out, it's going to cool down, it's going to be lovely and moist when we go to dig into it. I am particularly excited to try this dessert again. It's been a long time since I've had it and it is such a lovely treat. Even after the 30 minutes, your pudding is still hot, so this is the perfect time to enjoy it. You can see just by looking at the crumb, it's incredibly moist and soft. That's all thanks to that lovely sauce at the end. For me, you cannot serve a pudding like this without a big scoop of vanilla ice cream. This dessert is my kind of dessert. It tastes a little bit caramelly, it has loads of butter, it's sweet, it's incredibly soft and moist. It has everything I love about a pudding. I just gave myself a big scoop of pudding, knowing that it's not the best for on camera, but it was the best for me. This is so delicious. I hope you try it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again really soon.